declares, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
Yes.
The promise in verse 2 declares, for length of days and long life and peace shall they add unto thee.
All right.
Somebody say amen. Verse 3 declares, let mercy and truth forsake thee not. Bind them about thy neck and write them upon the tables of thine heart.
All right.
Verse 4 promises, so shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. He says in verse 5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding.
All right.
Says, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Solomon warns in verse 7, be not wise in thine own eyes. Rather, fear the Lord and depart from evil. The promise in verse 8 says that it shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones.
All right.
He says in verse 9, honor the Lord with all thine substance and with the first fruits of all thy increase, and so shall thy barns be filled with plenty, in thy presses shall burst out with new wine. For the sake of emphasis, we lift verses 5 and 6 afresh and anew. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. For a brief while, I want to talk about when we trust God. When we